one thing that you don't want stuff festering. So we're talking about, conflict resolution. We're resolving conflict. You want to resolve issues. You don't want to get to a place where you're so bottled up with issues and I mention the laundry to you and you flip out. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? Like, what is going on? Like,
well, you didn't ask me if it was a good time. You just came to me talking about I didn't do the laundry.
Even if I did.
And I'm in the middle of some other shit. Like, I don't give a fuck about laundry right now. I'm in the middle of this shit going on. I got this and that going on. So obviously that wasn't your delivery in that moment probably was a trigger for me.
And I understand that, but also let's be 100. Not all the time we have time or we're consciously aware thinking about delivery.
Why? How come we can't be intentional?
But what I'm saying, not delivery as in I'm going to automatically be rude or interrupt you. Mm-hmm. I'm saying not all the time. Like I'm thinking so logical and so technical in a calm manner to come to you and be like, hey, is now a good time to talk? And can we talk about A, B, and C?
I feel like that's just common courtesy. What's so hard about that? Why is that hard?
You don't do that all the time. What do you mean? Exactly. You don't.
Am appalled right now.
You.
You're listening to For Real Though, hottest new podcast in the street.
Can't go wrong with you, dig?
With your host Jimmy Rills and co-host Queen Nesha. Tap in now. Not for real though.
What up? Welcome to For Real Though. It's your boy Jimmy Rills, aka Mr. King Energy. We got the lovely, we got the talented, we got the anointed Queen Nesha in the building.
Hey y'all, what's up?
And we back with another episode for y'all today. Queen, tell us what we talking about.
So today, what we're gonna get into is conflict resolution in your relationship, in your partnership. What do y'all do? What's going on? Let's get into it.
All right, so help us understand that. We know that relationships in general, everything ain't always peachy. There's going to be some problems sometimes. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like, what do you do in certain situations when that come up? What comes to mind when you think about conflict in a relationship and conflict resolution?
So conflict resolution, like the first thing that I think about is, I think communication, and it depends on the problem, right? Like, how do you navigate through issues?
So give us an example of an issue that maybe you've experienced, or maybe you wasn't too happy with me, or you was frustrated with me.
I would say, we all know when we're in a relationship, our partner, to us, at times, do not listen.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Here
we go.
They just for some reason cannot get it through their brains what you are telling them to make it sink and actually put it into action. So that as women, we feel like you're not hearing me.
Yeah, but sometimes it obviously depends on what we talking about. But when you say listen, it's easy for a person to say, oh my, you're just not listening. You're not listening. You don't get it. But at the same time, you have to deliver it or communicate it in a way that I feel like your partner understands. So that's a big part of where the conflict comes from. To me, it's just like the communication breakdown.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. But
so help me understand.
But when you saying something and you saying the same thing, come on, like ladies, I know you understand.
It ain't just the ladies thing. Like,
even
what you mean?
Fellas, in general, in a relationship, when you get to the point where you are literally saying the same thing over and over and over and over again, it becomes repetitive. Why? And if it's like a behavior, if it's something that you do, and I'm telling you, I don't like that you do that. And you tell me, well, I feel like, okay, that's something I can work on. I'll work on it. A day go by, a week go by, a month go by. You into it, yeah. And he doing the same thing.
The shade is real around these parts.
The same thing. So what do you do? What?
That's kind of a loaded question, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, Queen.
No, you're right.
That's kind of a loaded question. I feel like there's a lot of variables that come with that, right? There is timing for one. I think it's just a whole bunch of different variables. Like just as one example, if you, before I start talking, give me an example of a problem or something that you tried to communicate to me and I just wasn't getting it. Like help me understand, because it really just all depends on the situation. But can you think of like an example where you was trying to get me to understand something, I wasn't getting it, and you got frustrated with me? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but.
Yeah, you are. No, but actually, there's a couple things I can think of.
Okay,
for example,
okay,
we're not really a, what do you call it now? I hear a lot of people, I've heard the phrase before, people that are in a relationship or in a marriage refer to their roles or duties in the house as gender-based. We're not totally gender-based in our house when it comes to the roles in the house as far as maintaining the house. So there's something.
Hold up. Let me fix your mic real quick. Sorry.
Thank you. There's something as simple as the laundry. So we divided the laundry. I wash, he fold.
I already know where this is going.
It's
about to be unfair.
I could wash, and I can even help him fold, and he just don't have time. He don't have time to maintain it. He gets behind. There's like baskets on top of baskets, and I understand we have busy lives. We have 2 boys, they're into sports. Sometimes life gets hectic, life gets busy. But what I don't understand is if you are applying yourself, you're practicing to do what we talked about, that means that you're practicing consistency. You heard me. Then I feel heard. If there's consistency and effort behind it, I feel heard. But when there's no consistency or no effort behind it, I don't feel heard. I feel like you're not listening, you're not getting it. So it's very frustrating, but how do we, in your opinion, what do I do to really make it sink in for you? To know that this is something that's important to me. Because not all the time that you do something or you communicate something with your spouse or with your partner, and it's necessarily important to him.
Facts.
What's important to me, that does not mean I'm going to repeat it. I think that was a bar. Like, I just feel like that was a bar right there. Like, that was a bar. Like, whatever is important to me, it's not always necessarily as important or important to your partner.
That's a fact, because we got different love languages, right?
Right.
And the way we receive love, the way we interpret information is different. But when it comes to the laundry, okay.
Deep breath.
Y'all my family. I'm gonna open up to y'all for a little bit. I'm gonna open up to y'all. Laundry is not my strong suit, okay? But when we start delegate, because in our household, we like to try to play off each other's strengths, right? And this is why I said it's going to be unfair, because laundry is really not my strength. It's not, but it's a task that she asked me to do, right? I feel like, first of all, as a man, I'm out here trying to conquer the world. Like, the last thing, and it's not like I'm shitting on your request for me to help with house duties and laundry, but I'm not thinking about laundry. Like, as most of the men out there, washing dishes, cleaning up the house, doing laundry, let's keep it 100. I don't give a fuck about no laundry. I'm out here trying to conquer the world. I'm out here trying to hunt. I'm a hunter. I'm out here, it's eat what you kill. You know what I mean? As a provider and a protector. So I'm focused on that. That's my mentality. Like, make sure I'm out here working hard, on the grind, doing what I'm supposed to do to be able to support, protect, and provide for the family. So a lot of times, I ain't gonna lie, she asks when she's delegating house duties because she needs help and she's feeling overwhelmed. That's why I was saying, like, it just depends on, it's a lot of different variables because how you deliver it. I could be in the middle of something, working or something. She like, okay, she picks right now while I'm in the middle of something to be like, okay, I need your help with something. I need your help with laundry. And I ain't gonna lie, I be kind of like, selective listening, where it's just like they have your attention, but they don't have your full undivided because you still kind of in the middle of something. So I'm like, huh? Yeah, uh-huh. And so she like, I need your help with laundry. And she's trying to get a commitment out of me, right? So she's just like, okay, can you do laundry? I'm like, uh-huh, yeah. But I'm still kind of focused on what I'm doing. So she like, okay, when can I expect the laundry to be done? And I'm like, by the end of the week, I'll get to it by the end of the week. Now, in the moment, I'm kind of distracted, so I'm not even really fully paying attention. So for me, and I've communicated this, something that helps me is something as simple as, like, you got a second? Can we talk for a second? So I can actually tell you, like, hey, I'm actually focused on something. I'm in the middle of something. Can we put a pin in it and circle back to it later? Like, or even if we on the phone talking or whatever, I could be at work or just not at home and she'll call me, like, as soon as I answer, like, hello, she like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, hold on. You don't know where I'm at. You don't know who in my background. I got colleagues around me. You don't know what I got going on. Ask, hey, can you talk for a second? So I think the point I'm getting to is timing is important when you communicate what you need from your spouse or your partner. I feel like delivery and how you do it is important. And I'm not gonna lie, I gotta do better. I am going to take accountability. I gotta do better with the laundry because I do it, but I gotta get more consistent with it. And the reason why I feel like I'm not consistent is because it's not a priority to me. I'm just gonna be 100. It's not really a priority to me. It's on probably the bottom of my list of to-dos. So I'm not prioritizing it in my schedule to make sure that I get it done. So that's, if I'm understanding you right, where you start to feel like unappreciated, like I'm not listening, and you start to get frustrated.
I'm not being heard. So if you're not prioritizing it in your list of priorities, because to you,
consistently,
even effort.
Wait, hold on.
Even effort, like,
you don't think I give effort?
I just give me.
So wait a minute. Let's narrow it down. Is the issue for me, as it pertains to laundry, is it effort or is it consistency? Which one is it?
It's both. Effort with consistency. You need to.
So I'm not giving any effort and I'm not consistent.
You need to. I didn't say you weren't.
But that was my question. What is my issue? Is it effort, like not doing it at all, or is it consistently? You do it when you get to it, but it's not consistent enough for me.
Both. If you do it, your consistency.
Shade is real.
No. But hear me out, because
disagree.
If you do it whenever you get to it, that's the lack of consistency. If you have a lack of consistency, you have a lack of effort. So the issue becomes you're not prioritizing what's important to me because it's important to me. Mm-hmm. If I'm your partner, the baseline of any issue, I feel like when you're in a relationship and how to resolve the conflict is a lot of times as us being human beings, if something's not important to us, we don't give a damn. Mm-hmm. We don't care. Mm-hmm. It's not important to me, so I don't find value in it. So I may not, if it's a problem, I may not even try and fix it, because I may not care to fix it. However, if we're talking about how do you resolve conflict in a relationship, the majority of the time, the biggest conflict is a lack of something in a certain area, and 9 times out of 10, it's the lack of it because you don't care about it. So you're not consistent with it, and you're not consistent because there's a lack of effort. But if you're having a lack of consistency and a lack of effort, that's still an issue. And you're still not, what you're saying to your partner is, because it's not important to me, I'm not going to prioritize it to still get it done. And if I'm not prioritizing it to get it done, there's a lack of care for your partner.
Okay, so if you had to pick one, would you rather me be focused on money-making activity?
No, wait.
Or would you be focused on the laundry being done?
No.
Washed, dried, folded, and put away?
No, pause.
Which one you want me to do?
No, pause. Because now you're trying to kind of paint it like it's important for you to be a provider. And it's important for me to maintain the house. That's going back to gender roles, which what we don't all the way do. What I'm asking you is, as your partner, just because it's not important to me, you're important to me. So because you are important to me and I'm willing to serve you, I'm going to prioritize what you're asking me to do, even when it's not that important to me. Because by me prioritizing it and by me doing it, or even putting effort towards doing it, I'm letting my partner know that I still care about you. I want to make you happy. I want to serve you. So I'm going to try and do that. But in those moments of frustration, how do I get that across to him when he just said he's not prioritizing it because it's not at the top of his list. It's not even in the middle because he don't care about it. He has more pressing matters like making sure he's out conquering the world, making sure he's out being the provider. Well, the reality of it is, it's 2023. There's men bosses and there's women bosses. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's a reason we have a partnership. Just like you, a boss, I'm a boss. So we have to create that space for each other to conquer, follow our dreams and conquer the world and build with each other. That comes with trading I for we. So because it's important to you, I'm going to put it in my list of priorities to try and be consistent with it.
I think that's 100, and I agree with what you're saying. I just also feel like, though, it's expectations, right? Expectations, unrealistic expectations, that's another cause for conflict in a marriage or in a relationship. So I'm going to be accountable because I am here to serve, right? I'm going to be accountable and I'm going to commit to doing better with the laundry. And some actionable items that I could try to work on is just like prioritizing in my schedule to do laundry twice a week. But I'm telling you right now, it's not realistic for me to be doing laundry every single day.
No.
Or spending hours doing laundry.
Right.
Because
I get that.
Wait. Go ahead.
And I know I'm interrupting you. But let's bring it back down a little bit.
We got to have realistic expectations, bro.
And so let's unpack that. Because again, we're talking about conflict resolution. So that's another building block to resolving conflict is being able to communicate. So one, I had to realize that I was basically interrupting him and not setting the stage to communicate my needs or what I needed. So I didn't have his full attention. So you have to clearly communicate. And I had to learn that to ask him, is now a good time to talk to you? Can I talk to you right now? And can we talk about this? And sometimes like I'll even say, can we talk about, we need to have a finance conversation or we need to have a conversation about the house because I'm setting the stage and giving him an outline mentally on where I'm at and what I need to talk about. And don't get it twisted. If I'm upset, if I'm pissed, if I'm coming in hot, I'm letting him know that like, I'm really irritated with you right now. Like we need to talk about A, B, C, and D.
I agree with that 100%. And I feel like that's a place that we had to work to get to together collectively, right?
But how did we get there?
Well, that's what I'm getting ready to talk about. Go ahead and do me a favor. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Smash that like button. Smash that bell icon for notifications. Like this video. Comment in the comment section and share this video. So in the beginning, we felt as though it was appropriate for us to speak our thoughts as we were thinking them, right? And a lot of times,
Danger.
how you feeling
Danger.
and what's going on in your mind, it don't necessarily mean that this is the time for you to spit that venom right now, right? And so through trial and error and over time and through communication, we had to learn, hey, we're most effective if we can set the stage for the conversation that we want to have. And if you are the initiator of the conversation, if it's something that you actually want to talk to your spouse about, we agreed that it's your responsibility to properly set the stage to have that conversation. For example, just like you just used,
voicing your topic.
Hey, babe, I want to talk to you later. I know you're in the middle of something right now, but tonight I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about something. Well, what do you want to talk about? Well, I just want to have a serious conversation with you about some things. I'm letting you know right now, it's not, it's going to be one of them real talk conversations. It's not going to be, pretty rainbows and butterflies and unicorns. And so I'm mentally preparing her for the conversation so she can brace herself, so she doesn't feel caught off guard. Because I feel like that's important. Like, you got to mentally prepare yourself for the conversation. And I'm one of them type of people too. Like, if we can't see eye to eye on a topic and we're in the middle of going back and forth about something and we just butting heads, I believe in tabling it, stepping away from it, allowing cooler heads to prevail, and then circling back to it later. Because I'm a processing type of person. I need to process. So you might spit some venom or say something to me and I'm getting defensive because I don't like your delivery. I don't understand what you're saying. Actually, I think you capping. I disagree with what you're talking about right now.
I'm capping.
Like you exaggerating right now. Like, because I do it. I be doing laundry. But you speak in you have a tendency to speak in absolutes, and that's a trigger for me. When you say you always or you never, I'm going to get defensive. That's just me. So having the self-awareness of how you receive information, I know that's my trigger. So I'm just like, okay, all right. I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. But I know that's something we're going to have to table back to because I'm not really understanding where you're coming from right now. But the whole case in point is just kind of setting the stage for the conversation that you want to have. And she knows that there's sometimes where if she hit me with that, I'm like, is it bad? If it's bad, I don't want to know right now. That's gonna kill my whole vibe. I'm in a good mood today. I had a productive day at work. I'm in the middle of something. Do not kill my buzz, bro. We'll talk about it later. And even sometimes that causes conflict because sometimes it could be something where you feel like it's pressing and we need to talk about it right now. Well, and I'm like, no, now's not a good time to talk about it.
But if it's something that's heavy on my heart, like, we got to have a conversation. I'm not just going to be able to pause.
Get with my assistant and put it on the schedule. Schedule that shit.
And no response is a response. Do y'all really believe him? Like, who's capping right now? No. In your dreams. I think when you like mentally click out when I be talking, that's probably what you be saying, but you need to be fully present in a conversation.
Touche, money.
But I wanted to ask you a question because you said something and it triggered a thought. And the thought was, a lot of times growing up, I often would hear, especially in church, you would hear, you don't go to bed angry. You shouldn't go to bed angry.
Right.
So when we are having an issue and it's hot and it's heavy, how did we get to the place where we realized that wasn't the most productive way to handle it?
I think it's
being still trying to force a solution when we are both highly elevated.
Well, I think that first of all, it's different strokes for different folks, right?
Right.
I know a lot of people who believe in that creed. Don't go to bed angry. Don't let the sun rise on your issue, right? And there are times where we can make that work and that works for us. And there's times where it's just like, nah, we need time to cool off because we're not vibing right now. I ain't fucking with her like that. She ain't fucking with me like that right now. We low-key beefing.
Right.
So it's just like, I believe in allowing cooler heads to prevail. But another thing too is, which is a gem, is learning to pick and choose your battles, right? I'm learning that I don't need to go hard and fight for everything, right? Mm-hmm. I don't have to always be right. And so then it makes you start thinking about it and analyzing the situation like, is this something that I really care about? How much do I really care?
Right.
Come to find out I really don't care that much about it. Like, we about to buy furniture. What color furniture are we gonna buy? Or what color are we gonna paint the kitchen or whatever? And she picks a color and I don't like that color. I'm gonna speak up that I don't like it. But now we going back and forth on what decision we gonna make. And the truth is, when I think about it, I don't really give a fuck about that shit. I don't care about that for real. Like, just don't pick pink or some shit that you know I'm just not gonna like, or purple. You know, it's not just a woman living here. Pick a neutral color and let's move on. You know what I mean? But I had to learn that. I had to grow to get to that. Just learning to pick and choose your battles. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something that's important too. Now, if it's something that I'm passionate about, I'm gonna fight for it. Like, nah, mm-hmm. I gotta fight for this one. I really believe in this one. You know what I mean? But that may not happen before the sun sets and rises. We might have to table it and circle back to it. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna give you the floor, but that's another thing too that comes up, because these are conversations that I have with my homeboys or just other people, and even things that we've had too, where it's just like, we're not perfect. We're still a work in progress. Thank God that we're not where we used to be and who we used to be. Right. We've come a long way from that. But we still got, room for improvement. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, if you're going to table something, you definitely got to circle back to it. Yeah.
That's my pet peeve, is not circling back. If you say you're going to follow up on something, follow up on it. So if you tell me, okay, I don't really have an answer right now or a solution, or I can't even process this right now or this issue, then let's put a pin in it and circle back. But when you don't circle back, that's a problem.
It's okay to communicate with your partner and follow up though.
Yeah, but so I'm saying when you don't.
No, but understand what I'm saying. If there's a situation where I said, well, I don't have an answer right now, or I don't have time to really talk about it right now, but let's table this, and then can we circle back to it? Yeah. And let's say it's a busy week and I'm caught up doing whatever I'm doing with the boys and practice and running here and there and working and all the entrepreneurial endeavors and everything else. If I don't get back to it, but it's still fresh on your mind, it's okay for you to follow up. You don't necessarily have to wait for me to do something.
Oh, of course that. I'm just saying, if I do follow up, or either one of us follow up, mm-hmm. saying if you say you are going to put a pin in something and you're going to circle back to it, make sure that you circle back to it, because one thing that you don't want stuff festering. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about, conflict resolution. We're resolving conflict. You want to resolve issues. You don't want to get to a place where you're so bottled up with issues, and I mention the laundry to you and you flip out. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? Like, what is going on? Like,
well, you didn't ask me if it was a good time. You just came to me talking about I didn't do the laundry.
If I did.
And I'm in the middle of some other shit. Like, I don't give a fuck about laundry right now. I'm in the middle of this shit going on. I got this and that going on. So obviously that wasn't, your delivery in that moment probably was a trigger for me.
And I understand that, but also let's be 100. Not all the time we have time, or we're consciously aware thinking about delivery.
Why? How come we can't be intentional?
But what I'm saying, not delivery as in I'm going to automatically be rude or interrupt you. Mm-hmm. I'm saying not all the time. Like, I'm thinking so logical and so technical in a calm manner to come to you and be like, hey, is now a good time to talk? And can we talk about A, B, and C?
I feel like that's just common courtesy. What's so hard about that? Why is that hard?
You don't do that all the time. What do you mean? Exactly. You don't.
am appalled right now.
You don't do that all the time. You don't always set the stage.
I don't want to speak in absolutes, but I feel like the vast majority of the time I definitely do.
Okay, but I'm talking about that
When
in between time when you don't.
Okay, it occasionally happens. I'm human.
So yes, you can.
I'm capable of.
Exactly, that part. But what I'm saying is you can just flip out about something. Even if it's not that. I'm talking about those times where if you do set the stage, if you do clearly communicate your issue, if I tell you the issue and I know the issue is micro and you flip out on me like it's this big thing, I'm looking at you like, okay, I understand this is an issue, but is it really that serious? You're that mad. And my point is, you could be that mad, but not about laundry.
Facts.
You could be more mad about something else because you have so much festering or going on with you.
Facts.
So I think the biggest key to resolving conflict is, yeah, I can say communication, but honestly, you have to know how to communicate with a person. And in order for me to know how to communicate with him, I have to pay attention to how he receives communication.
That's a fact.
Like, how do your partner respond? And if you don't know how your partner process certain things or what are certain triggers, have the conversation. Ask the question. Ask him, why when I ask you this, you always seem so irritated by me? Or why when I say this, I feel like it's a problem, but it's not a big problem, but you kind of flip out on me. Why?
It's a landmine and you don't realize that you're stepping on.
That's why I need to ask. Instead of getting an attitude.
The other person needs to be able to communicate that as well. And I'm glad you brought that up because that brings about another good topic. So, and I think it kind of ties into love languages, understanding your partner's love language. But like you said, understanding how your spouse processes information. A lot of times we have a tendency to process information or give out information or interpret information. I hope I'm saying this right. We have a tendency to give out information in the way that we like to receive it as a preference. Right? So there are distinct differences between Queen and I that we had to learn over time about each other, and it's that I might be more of what you call an analytical person or an analytical thinker, but basically the short of it is I need details, right? If you teaching me how to do something, if you explaining me something to me, or you asking me to do something, the more details the better. It be World War III up in this bitch when she asked me to do something and her responses are vague, and it's just like it causes a problem, because then if I don't have the answer or whatever, then if I don't have the answer or if I don't do it right, then she gets frustrated. Like, weren't you listening? You weren't listening. And then I'm frustrated because it's just like, no, you didn't clearly explain what I needed. Here's an example. Sometimes she has the tendency, or has done in the past, this. Hey, can you go downstairs and get me the thing under the thing? And I'm like, what thing? Because she'll be cleaning the house, right? She in her zone. She got music playing. You smell bleach and pine saw. And you're like, oh shit. So she in her zone. She in her vibe. Hey, can you go downstairs and get me the thing under the thing? I'm like, what is the thing under the thing, bro? And so she's just like, the cleaner. Can you go get me the cleaner downstairs? And so I'm like, okay. I'm thinking to myself, like, downstairs, like in the kitchen, because she can, we got bedrooms upstairs, then you got the main level, and then we have the finished basement.
3 levels.
She could be upstairs, right, on the 3rd level, cleaning bathrooms, right? She will say, go downstairs and get me the cleaner. What the fuck cleaner are you talking about? Where the fuck is it at? What does the cleaner look like? Okay, can you get me the cleaner? It's got like a yellow top. I think it's under the cabinet. Cool, I'm good with that. But I need details, right? But she's the opposite. So like with her, you need to get to the point expeditiously.
Facts. Facts.
So if I'm explaining
Get
something
to
to her or I'm telling her something,
to say and say it.
She gets frustrated with me because I'm taking too long, right? She'll start huffing and puffing, and
I don't huff and puff.
Oh my God!
I
and
do
then
not.
She start tuning me out.
Oh my God! Now
okay, so what you need?
I'm appalled. I do not.
Bullshit.
I do not, as my mama would say, tell the truth and shame the devil. I do not be huffing and puffing and rolling my eyes. Now, back in the day, yeah, I was probably real spicy. And as women, we can still get spicy.
Right.
So, yes, when I'm in the moment or I'm trying to get something done, I need you to adjust. I need you to adapt. And some stuff, I need you to just figure it out. If I say go get the cleaner, you know I keep the cleaner in one space. Go downstairs and get the cleaner.
The cleaner being like multiple. So that's kind of cap. And it's like 30 bottles of cleaner. It's like 30 bottles of different type of cleaners. That's different colors. And so then guess what, y'all? I go get the cleaner. I come back upstairs. Here you go. This ain't the right cleaner. This ain't what I asked you. See, you don't be listening. This is what I be talking about. That's her favorite word. This is what I be talking about. You don't be listening. Why you laughing so hard, huh? Am I capping still? Bro, what the fuck cleaner do you want me to get? She like, okay, the one with the green top, I think it's under the cabinet. If it's not under the cabinet, then go down in the basement, grab the bleach, and I think it's in there by where we do the laundry at, blah, 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 blah.
My bottles are labeled, first of all. If I'm cleaning the bathrooms and I say go downstairs and get me the bathroom cleaner, grab the cleaner that say bathroom. It's not that hard.
Again, it's like 30 bottles of cleaner.
So but in that example,
yeah, the whole.
What are we doing? Like in that example, how do we de-escalate it? How do we bring it back down?
Well, small problems become big problems just off the strength of communication, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think grace is definitely important. Mm-hmm. I think patience is important. And I think, just like you mentioned earlier, you have to understand your partner. Don't give out information in the way that you like to receive it. You knowing your partner, you have to communicate in a way that you know that's easy for them to understand. It's no different from if you speaking publicly. You know, you might have to, in certain environments, you know, take it up a couple notches, speak more eloquently, use bigger words if you got more of a sophisticated audience, so you might have to dumb it down a little bit. Like you have to communicate to your audience. I am your audience. So you got to communicate to me.
But it's all about effort and consistency.
I can give you the effort.
I'm saying effort even on my part. It takes effort for me to learn, to pay attention, to be present, and want to learn how you communicate and how you receive communication.
Speaking of communication, so I was in a barbershop and we was kind of talking about somebody had gotten into an argument publicly at the barbershop. I wasn't there, but the fellas at the barbershop was telling me about it.
Ooh.
And it was a couple. And dude was in there either getting his hair cut or sitting down or waiting or something. And she came in, his lady came in or whatever. And then she left and he was like, where you about to go? And she got like real beefy. What you mean where I'm about to go? Why you worried about where I'm finna go? And da-da-da-da-da. And the way they told me and they explained it to me is like she got real super beefy and basically kind of got disrespectful. And so like she got real argumentative publicly. And I said, well, damn, what did he do? And so they said he just kind of downplayed it. Like he played it off. He basically smiled and was like, man, she crazy. And he basically didn't say too much. And so I was like, damn. And so we was kind of talking about what would you do and this, that, and the third. So I have an opinion on it, but I want to ask you, like, we see it all the time, couples arguing or getting into it in public. If your spouse is getting a little spicy with you or getting real beefy publicly in front of people, what's your natural instinct for one, and for two, how do you typically handle situations like that for the people?
So that's a loaded question for me.
Okay.
And it's a loaded question for me because I feel like when you are younger or young in a relationship, well, we still young. I feel like we still young. But when we were younger, you know, you are a lot more spicy. As a woman, you are a lot more spicy. And as a man, you are a lot more defensive. So if I'm coming at you super spicy, you're naturally going to be super defensive. And that's going to cause you to get aggressive and get beefy. And then now we're in a space where we're going back and forth. So I think if it's something that the other person is doing, you can never control the other person's at all. Like, I can't control you. I can't control how you're coming at me in public. My hope is that because you love and respect me, you don't want to embarrass me, like, in public. And the same. But if that is happening to you, you are always in control of your response. I can always control how I respond to you. So, because you're acting a fool in public, I'm not about to act a fool. Because if I engage with you, now I'm going to act a fool. Now I'm showing myself in a manner that's not my best representative of who I am.
For sure that.
So I'm going to choose not to engage. I'm not going to engage, especially if I know you really on the edge, like you really out of pocket. I'm just not going to engage with you. I'm saving you. because I'm not, look, I'm just going to dead the conversation and just not even respond. I'm going to even detach. If I got to remove myself, remove yourself. Until you both get to a space and get to an understanding of how you operate in public, which should always be with the utmost respect for each other.
Right. But then you got petty that comes into the play too. So some people can be petty and go tit for tat. Like,
yeah.
I know a whole lot of people, especially a lot of my homeboys, who live by the principle like, nah, she get out of pocket publicly, I'm gonna check her publicly. Period.
Yeah, but honestly, everybody has a little petty. Everybody do indulge in a little petty. But you being petty in public to your partner,
you make both.
That's a lack of immaturity.
For sure.
Now you're choosing to play in child's play.
No, for real though.
I'm not doing that. I'm not going to entertain this low vibration energy that you giving off right now.
Big facts.
In public.
You know what I feel like? I feel like there's a lot of different things I want to say. So I'm collecting my thoughts, but for one, the dynamics of every relationship is different, right? So it really depends on the situation, how you can react. And what I mean by that is there are some dynamics in certain relationships where they kind of have a playful banter type of vibe. You know, that's them. I believe that at the core and the foundation of our relationship is a friendship, right?
Oh, of course.
So we definitely engage in playful banter, even publicly, where we might roast each other, we might talk shit. You know, we go out drinking sometimes or whatever, get a little saucy. We might say some slick shit. But understanding, first of all, being able to, emotional intelligence is important, being able to read the whole vibe and the whole situation and knowing your partner.
Knowing your environment too.
Knowing
Where are you?
Right, but so is she coming at me, she talking slick in like a playful banter type of vibe? Because then I might say something back. But we know it ain't going to go nowhere beyond where it's at.
Right.
But then if it ain't that, so I guess let me simplify my response. I would respond very much in the way that you explained. I'm probably going to downplay it, right? I might laugh it off. You funny.
Right.
You funny. And if it keeps going, like, I think that you will begin to get my drift real quick because my tone may change. And it may not necessarily be that I'm going to go back and forth with you or go tit for tat. But you definitely would pick up my drift that, okay, shit's getting real. Like, you out of pocket, you tripping. And it may be the tone of my voice that changed, or it may be the tone in my conversation that changed. Like, okay, I got it. Let's bring it on back to reality.
Right.
And at that point, I would hope that you get the drift, like, okay, all right, maybe I should fall back or I should chill. And I feel like you have a tendency to, like, if things are going in that direction or whatever, you will kind of go mute. You kind of stop talking.
Disengage yourself.
You get silent.
Disengage.
And I'm like, okay. But
sometimes no response is a response.
For sure. And for me, I feel like in a situation like that, I probably would definitely downplay it. I'm gonna say something, but I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cute. And I might change the subject or something. But that doesn't mean that it's gonna go unaddressed. It's definitely getting addressed. I just may choose not to address it right there on the spot in real time in front of people.
Right.
We get back to the car or we get back to the crib. Now you just tried me in front of all these folks.
Right.
You got me all types of fucked up. Like, you know that.
You know this really did happen, right? He looking at me real serious,
like, no, let's not get it confused. Oh. Nice guy don't mean pussy. Like, you don't ever try me like that.
But there's a respect level, like.
But I'm saying that if the situation still has to be addressed,
it does.
I feel like that's another issue too. And I'm gonna give you the floor. Let me get this out. Because that's another issue that comes up, right? That we've actually been through in our relationship. We've been together a long time. Where, because you don't want to make waves or whatever, then you start to bite your tongue on certain shit. Myself, I'm guilty. I've been guilty of it. She's been guilty of it too. I don't feel like arguing. I ain't trying to go back and forth. That really did piss me off and it did irritate me, but I don't even feel like getting into it right now. So then it goes unaddressed. You don't address it when you get back to the house. You just kind of shut down. And then the next day, and now it's a string of days. Now it's a couple weeks pass, and another issue comes up, and then the spouse completely blows up. To you, it feels like an overreaction. Like,
and that's what we were talking about earlier.
Where does that energy come from? All of this for not taking out the damn trash?
Right. That's what we were talking about earlier. Not letting yourself get bottled down with issues or your relationship with issues. It's important. If you're gonna circle back. If it's something that truly weighs your heart down, talk about it. You have to talk through it.
Because this ain't about no trash.
Right.
This is about that issue 3 weeks ago where she felt like you tried her, but she
tight. Got you real tight.
And then it didn't get addressed, and things kind of built up. But we're gonna wrap the conversation up here. Conflict, we hope we gave y'all some good nuggets.
So what's three takeaways?
Okay, so
give me 3 takeaways.
Some main takeaways, and I want 3 from you too.
Okay.
Communication and understanding the way that your partner communicates. Right. Timing. Basically setting the stage for the conversation that you want to have. Hey, is this a good time right now to talk? I want to talk to you about a couple of things. Or I want to have a real serious conversation with you. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a little frustrated with you about X, Y, and Z, but we need to talk about it. And if it's not a good time, okay, when is a good time for us to talk about it? We need to schedule some time to make sure we talk about it. And I would say communication, set the stage, and grace. And pick your battles.
That was one of mine. Grace. Grace, communication.
I'm gonna throw one in there. Just kind of pick your battles. You know what I mean? Certain shit ain't worth fighting for like that. You know what I mean? Some situations and certain issues you have to digress.
Right.
So those are my key takeaways. What about you?
So your 3 takeaways were communication.
You have to repeat them. They heard them.
I know. I just want to make sure they sinking in for me.
Okay, come on with it. What you heard?
I forgot now. No. So communication, setting the stage, grace, and I feel like I'm missing one. I'm sure I'm missing one. Picking your battles. Okay. Self-awareness. And I think I said this prior. Self-awareness. That's a major key that I learned with myself. Being self-aware. You have to be aware of self. Where am I at mentally, emotionally, to have this conversation? Solution. What do I want? What am I trying to resolve at the end of this conversation? Before I bring it to him, before you bring it to your partner, what type of solution, what is the ideal outcome you are looking for?
Begin with the ending in mind. I love it.
Yes. And
stole that from me.
I was gonna say grace, but he took grace from me. So,
anything to add?
Knowing that a major game changer for me, my third one, is it's not the problem. Like, it's not the problem, it's not the issue. It's us against the issue. It's never me feeling like I'm fighting him. Even if I'm upset with him, it is still me and him against the issue. So I need to get him to understand how should I communicate this to him so he can hear me and put it into action so we can attack this issue.
Being a team, you know what I mean? Just being reminded that don't fight each other.
Right. We're not fighting each other, we're fighting the issue.
Don't fight with me, not against me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times that can get distorted. And so a lot of people feel like, hey, you attacking me, and what do we do when we feel attacked? We start busting back. Yeah.
So don't fight each other.
Right.
Fight the issue. Don't bust back at each other. Bust back at the issue.
Nah, for real though.
But
that's all we got for y'all today.
Conversation.
For sure, up top,
I'm Queen Nesha.
And I'm Jimmy Rills, aka Mr. King Energy. We thank y'all for tuning in. Go ahead and do me a favor. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Smash that like button. Smash that bell icon for notifications. Like this video. Comment in the comment section. And share this video. Till the next time. Peace.